Welcome to another video yet again. Hope you guys did have a really good weekend. I have been doing tons of research, finding the next penny stocks, and I do have the next one for you guys when I am completely loaded up on myself. If you are enjoying this content, drop a quick like for me on this video. It does really help me out. I'm not selling any type of program or Discord, and you guys need to realize all these other YouTubers that are selling you courses and programs, you are their income. See, they're not actually real traders. They're using their program as a business. If you're actually making, some of these that claim to be making millions upon millions of dollars, you're not worried about selling a course. So I'm giving out this information completely free. And, I've been on a very hot win streak. I think, 10 or 20 of my last plays have had profitable returns. So I honestly do believe this is the most undervalued cybersecurity penny stock in the entire market. So right now this one is trading around $4 per share, and we did just receive, or we do have a $7 price target by H.C. Wainwright, one of the most well-known investment banks. Also reiterated their buy rating. So this is a very tiny $36 million market cap company that did $106 million in revenue for 2023, and they're expecting 120 up to $130 million for, in revenue for 2024. They actually upped this, I think, to 130 to $140 million for 2024. And their customers include Microsoft, which is a $3 trillion company, Cisco, which is a $200 billion company, NASA, and other well-known very big names in the market. They're also pursuing a $60 billion NASA soup contract. So that is, that alone is, very massive right there. And their solutions are relied on by over 18,000 enterprises. Just earlier in the year, they were selected by the Navy to be part of a 10-year, $2.7 billion spiral forward contract. Just a month or two after that, they were awarded a $254 million increase with their contract with the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. So this contract increased from $500 million to $754 million. The CEO himself has said that this $754 million contract is expected to 2x to $1.5 billion, going from a 5-year contract to a 10-year contract. And this is just one of the very many deals they have. This is Widepoint Corporation, ticker WYY, currently trading at $3.71. We're going to look at the chart really quick, but you can see we are holding this trend line up very nicely, and we are at a bounce support level on this trend line up as well. So currently, like I said, trading under $4. You can see, we're going to zoom out, but you can see this was trading at $16 just around the 2020 and the beginning of 2021, timeline. I had a massive drop right here and then consolidated for a very long time, indicating, once a company does consolidate for a long time, usually we see a breakout to basically to the upside or the downside. So the longer the consolidation, the bigger the breakout. And that's what happened. We actually just recently did break this downtrend. Our RSI is not even that high. And, the chart is actually looking very good to me. $4 is a big resistance level, and some more resistance at $4.50, for the most recent price action. So those are some key levels to really watch right now. Like I said, I am expecting a bounce off of this trend line. So that is actually very key, but we have a lot of catalysts and a lot we have to talk about with Widepoint Corporation. Something you have to realize is this is a company trading at a very small $30 million valuation, are pretty much profitable in every single way, and their revenue numbers have continued to expand very aggressively. And all the contracts put together that they've already secured, not to mention the massive contracts that are coming for 2025 that we will talk about later in the video. So make sure you watch this entire video. You do not want to miss some of the, very critical information I am discussing in the middle of this video and later on, because I'm saving the best for the last. So make sure you watch this entire video. But you can see some partnerships with ticker WYY, Widepoint Corporations. Some partnerships include IBM, which is a $200 billion company, as well as Samsung. Like I said in the intro of this video, they are currently pursuing a $60 billion contract with NASA. So looking at this, this is the NASA soup contract, and this was in 2018. Each contract did have a $20 billion limit, but this, looks like has increased because this is outdated, and the CEO himself did say they are pursuing a $60 billion NASA soup contract right here.
We got the Navy Spiral 4, which is a $2.7 billion contract. We're going after the NASA soup SCWP contract, which is a $60 billion contract. And so, just getting a small piece of those two contracts. And of course, our DHS contract, the DHS has been announced, and that's based upon our calculation. It's going to go from a half a billion to probably 1.5 billion. Right now, the contract is worth $754 million. And so they're going to extend the 5-year period to a 10-year period. So you just have to multiply the contract value, current contract value, by 2. That's $1.5 billion contract. I think we have the inside track to win that as well, right? So lots of good things happening, and I think that this is an opportunity. It's a great opportunity for anybody, to come in. And
I've done a lot of research on this company. I watched this entire 43-minute interview among many other interviews, and this is the most excited I've ever seen the CEO. He's actually hinting at right here that he is about to load up on Widepoint Corporation stock. So we could see some very big insider transactions coming up now that the window is open for this.
Cost cutting measures and things that have happened. But that I think not only do the executive management team feel this way, it's pervasive throughout the organization.
Jim, were you a buyer of your stock, or are you a buyer of your stock?
Yes, I am a buyer of our stock, and now we are in the open window, and that's a good question. So please look for the Form 4s.
They have been providing their technology to the government since 1995, and they're the first company in history to be certified by the Department of Defense. So they are completely backed by the government and some of the globally leading companies. They are one of the only 2 companies in the entire world certified by the government to issue credentials that serve as the foundation for the zero trust security architecture.
What makes us unique is that we have an entity and identity and access management solution that has never been hacked. And it's been implemented in all of the federal government agencies, including the Department of Defense. One that has universal application, one that is quantum computing resistant. And now we are bringing that solution to the commercial market.
Guys, as these quantum computing systems continue to get more powerful every single day, they are in a great sector. There will always be demand for what they are doing. So the demand will continue to increase very rapidly. They've created this unhackable technology that, the government and military directly relies on, as well as some of the biggest global enterprises.
It is a solution that cannot be hacked. It's quantum computing resistant and all of that. At today's rate, it would take 140 years to crack the encryption algorithm that is on the device. And if the power should, the computing power should double, all we would do is, increase the bit strength. Right now it's 512. Go to 1024, and then it'll take them, a trillion years to crack it, right? And so every time there's, they increase in processing power, we increase the bit and the hash, and it'll just keep getting longer and longer and longer.
Looking at dilution for ticker WYY, now dilution is probably, one of the most important, if not the most important things to look at when trading penny stocks, because if there are toxic warrants at open S1 or any form of dilution that is coming in the short term, obviously when those shares are sold on the market, the stock price will drop. So it's not really a safe play to hold, even medium to long term, maybe for a day trade, but you don't really want to even hold these that long. So looking at this one, a very clean setup, no real dilution, and the company has, according to Dilution Tracker, we're going to go into their financials very soon and talk about their amazing numbers, everything like that, but the company, according to Dilution Tracker right here, has 66 months of cash left based on a very small quarterly cash burn rate of $250,000 in estimated current cash of $5.5 million. You can see right here since 2019 or 2020, the outstanding share count has went up less than 1 million shares, went up by around 800,000 shares or something like that. And in 2022 until now, so 2 years later, the outstanding share count has only went up around, not even 1 million shares. So very safe play in terms of dilution, very minimal dilution with ticker WYY. Looking at their financials, you can see in 2023 did $106 million in revenue. Keep in mind, you always add 3 zeros to these numbers. They did lose $4 million in net income, but they are predicting anywhere from $130 million to $140 million in revenue for 2024, which is a very big jump, the biggest jump in revenue they've had. Actually, the biggest jump in revenue they've had in the last few years since 2021. So that's a massive increase. Net profit margins are continuing to increase at the same time as their revenue does. So that's very key right here. Very impressive. So you can see in 2023 for the Q4 2023 did $28 million in revenue. Quarter before that only did $25 million. This popped to $28 million. Next quarter popped to $34.2 million. And the quarter after that popped to $36 million. And you can see for the last quarter of 2023, they lost $1.3 million for Q1 2024, only lost $653,000. So their net profit margins doubled. They're extremely close to profitability in terms of their net profitability. You can see their EPS has continued to increase the last few quarters. Quarter over quarter went from negative 0.15 to negative 0.07 all the way to negative 0.05 for these last 3 quarters shown here. Now, they did just have financials that came out, which, revenue was down just over $1 million, but, guidance is still pretty high, and they are actually targeting, and it looks like they will hit their upper target of their revenue guidance for 2024. They may even have to up their guidance depending on how Q4 is looking. So for the third quarter of 2024, revenues were $34.6 million, which is a small decrease from the last quarter, but still up from the first 2 quarters. So it looks like they are still on target, especially if they have a very strong Q4, to hit the upper level of their guidance range, maybe even go beyond that. So that's actually looking very good. Something else I realized for the most recent quarter for Q3 2024, yes, their revenue was down, just by, just around $1 million, but their net income, their net loss was only $425,000. You compare that to the last quarter, the Q2 of 2024, they lost $500,000. So their net profitability is continuing to improve, and that's something they've really been focused on, and they are doing exactly what they said they're going to do. So looking at some of their third quarter 2024 and recent operational highlights, they won $15.2 million in contract awards and renewals during the third quarter of 2024, of which $1.4 million were IT as service contracts. It's actually really nice right here. Awarded 2 mobile anchor digital credential contracts for the quarter from federal defense and civilian agencies. Certified and successfully deployed new proprietary mobile anchor digital credential solution into 2 federal agencies. This is their 29th consecutive quarter of positive adjusted EBITDA, 4th consecutive quarter ending free cash flow positive. So are on track, making tremendous progress. This video is getting way too long, so I'm going to cut it off right here, but just know that Widepoint Corporation, ticker WYY, is a long-term swing play. It looks like they will have an extremely good year in 2025. Actually, the CEO said they are expecting multiple press releases to come out in the short term. So we're going to be looking at those. Could see some very big acquisition targets coming up. So this is a $30 million company, only 7 million shares that float, only 9.6 million outstanding shares, a $30 million valuation. They have billions upon billions of dollars in contracts. They also have a current contract backlog of $320 million, expecting one of their biggest contracts to increase from $750 million to $1.5 billion, pretty soon. So that's a very big catalyst, just one of their many contracts to look out for. So ticker WYY, Widepoint Corporation, is a long-term swing play. Now, guys, keep in mind, some of these penny stocks I cover are momentum-based plays you want to get in and out of very quickly. So you have to learn as a trader. You can't be asking me to basically hold your hand the entire way. You have to basically learn these things, look at the chart and know when it's oversold, when it's overbought, know when to get in and out. That's something you have to research and learn on your own. As a trader, I can't tell you every single step. If you did make it this far in this video, I really do appreciate you, and I will see you on the next one.